Alright, what's going on guys? My name is SeaFox and welcome back everyone to another video where today guys I'm going to be giving you all a little tutorial on how I basically go about to make my graphics, since a lot of you recently have been wanting to know on how I make my graphics. You know, you've been commenting my videos below in the comment section, you know, tweeting me out on Twitter and even leaving me replies on Skype or whatever. So I thought I'd make this little video just to explain some of the steps I do in Photoshop and clear up just any questions you guys may have concerning my graphics and whatever. And I'll try and keep this video very short just so it doesn't waste too much of you guys' time. And as always guys, if you definitely like the video, then definitely leave a like rating down below. Really appreciate it. And do leave a comment as well on what other tutorials you'd like to see from me in the future. So say like another Photoshop tutorial, or even like a Cinema 4D tutorial, like a render tutorial. But apart from that guys, I hope you enjoy this video and let's get straight into the tutorial. So the first thing I usually do is obviously select a background and a render which will match each other, because generally I find that people who are starting out doing Minecraft graphics, you know, they select sort of their renders and their backgrounds which kind of look almost like the renders are floating. So you want to avoid having that kind of effect, because it just doesn't look good. So obviously I've tried to match a background that matches the render I have here, so I'll do best as I can to, you know, match the overall graphic and whatever. Yeah, so apart from that, let's just get on with it. So the first thing you want to do is obviously check if your render, which you've pulled up from Cinema 4D or Blender, or whatever you've used, is rasterized. So to check that, you can just hit the paintbrush tool here and then just click on the render and just click OK, because now that means your layer is rasterized, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't be able to use any of the tools up here. So what you then want to do is you want to click the render layer, head over to filter and then click liquify. And what I usually do in liquify is I like to adjust any sort of the small details, so like make the cape all sort of wavy and whatever if you want, or you know, make some of the heads bigger, or like some of the parts of the body bigger and whatever, like hands or feet. You guys don't have to do that. It's just a thing I like to mess around with to make my renders a little bit more cartoony, but you know, that's really up to you. I'm just gonna leave it like that. That looks alright. Let's make the hands a little bit bigger, like this. Not too big, but something like that, that's fine. That looks alright. Let's do the feet. And obviously, you know, if you have a different method of doing that, or if you like to select different other areas, such as like the sword, or you know the eyes or whatever, then that's absolutely up to you. You know, you can decide what you want to adjust, but I'm just going to adjust the parts that I like to you know, make bigger. So after you've done that, you just want to click OK. Actually, there is one, the eyes look a little bit funny in that. We're just going to change that a bit. Oh yeah, if you want to adjust the size of the brush and whatever, you can just click Alt and then right click on your mouse, and then left click to click and like drag the parts you want to grow. That looks a bit better. Okay, right, so the next step to do is you want to head over to your render and then right click and duplicate layer. Name it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. We're just going to put that in our folder. You can create folders. I like to just create folders just because it helps it a bit neater. It just knows why, you know, helps me know where everything is. Sorry. So you want to go over to, so having, you know, duplicated your layer, you want to head over to filter again, and this time you want to click filter gallery. And from here you want to click onto the stylized folder, which is just here, and click glowing edges. I like to have my glowing edges a little bit towards the low side, because if they're too intense, then you really won't be able to see the like the render and whatever. So it's up to you really. You can mess around with those settings. Alright, so once you've got your layer like this, you just want to avoid having the black to within the layer. So to do that, you just want to hit right click the layer again and click blending options, and then from here you can click on this scroll like drop down menu and click soft light. Now obviously when I'm working with the darker background, it would like match it, like it will match the background better, but because I'm using a light one, it will look a little bit strange, but for this video it looks sort of okay, because we'll add other effects later on. So what does overlay look? No, overlay's way too dark. You can also head over to here and click satin if you want, and change it from multiply to soft light again. Or actually, what does overlay look like? Overlay looks quite nice. And you can change again that opacity. Just head over back here. That looks quite nice. I quite like that. Yeah, that looks good enough. So now you got that step done, you can then go ahead and do the next step, which I don't know actually if it's done in this layer or not. Yeah, I think it is. So what you can do, this is another step that I like to do, and in some ways it will work with the background that we're working with. If you just hit inner glow, and change this setting here from screen to overlay, and change the color as well. So I usually like to put it at white, although for this video I think it will work quite nicely if we change it to like a beigey color, like that. That looks quite good. And then mess around with the size, because what you'll then notice is like some like lighter areas start appearing, especially on the top of the hair, and it will work quite well with this background, this kind of light background. And then you can adjust the range as well. That looks quite good. Or like the choke, and you'll start appearing some like more shadows on the, especially on the face. I think that looks alright. We're gonna probably keep it at that. Okay, we're just gonna click OK. I think apart from that, it's pretty much done. So what you need to do, you can then really start beginning on other areas of the render. So we're going to start the sword. So I'm just going to create a new layer called sword. Hit new layer, and we're going to select the brush tool. Select your layer again. So get the brush tool, and you want to click a brush tool that's quite it's quite nice and sort of like fadey in a way. So I've got hundreds of brushes here, but you can select these ones here. These are quite good to work with on swords. And select that. And I think we're going to match it with this color because it'll match the sword better. Yeah, so we're just going to paint over the top like this. Like so. And then you click the layer again and hit blending options. And then just change the opacity to overlay. Oh, actually no, not overlay. Soft light probably looks better in this layer. And maybe adjust the opacity again, just like that. That looks a little bit better. And already we started to get some sort of green glow. And what you really want is, at the moment this is just an undercoat, because you'll do several coats afterwards. Don't hit anything like any of these options because it will make the render look a bit ugly. Again, you want to create a new layer, but this time you want to create it as a white. So you can just click the palette here and drag your color to white, and do the same step again. And what will happen this time is that the sword will be much brighter. you can also start adding some white bits here, like so. So then there's like a glowing effect also on the body. I'm going to hit blending options again, and change the blend mode to something else. That's a little bit too bright. Maybe if we change the green back down, that might change it a bit. Maybe it's a bit too much green. Yeah, that looks fine. If we go into here again, what happens? Okay, what about if we do soft mode? Yeah, so it's really sort of, oh no, that's, we don't want that. It's really up to you guys to sort of decide what you like to, what other options you want to mess around with. Some people really like to have theirs very vibrant, some don't, but you guys can just mess around and play around with what you like best. We'll probably hit with the soft lights because that's probably the best one, and then just keep it as that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so the next bit I usually like to do is just kind of touch up on any bits which might much in the background. So what we might do here is probably start off with the bottom here to make it a bit more bright, like a lighter, you could say. So what we should do is head over to here, click your brush tool, and we're just going to choose a color that's fairly bright but not too mediocre, something like a grey. And then just really sort of do, you know, you can paint around the bottom and whatever. And what this will do is just basically, you know, instead of having a straightforward layer, you know, like this down the bottom, you know, where it's sort of the grass block sort of instantly joins, it just looks a little bit awkward, especially with this background. But if you want to make him look like he's sort of floating in a way, you can just add like a very light layer of paint around the bottom. Hit blending options again. Maybe do overlay. No, that's a bit. What about if we? No, that doesn't work. Color dodge doesn't look bad. Lighter, like that. I think we'll do a linear dodge. It works quite well. Okay. We might actually make the background a little bit. Actually, no, the background's fine. What else could we do? Oh yeah, the eyes. Forgot about that. So the eyes, usually I don't like to mess around with the Cinema 4D like eyes, just because it's just a little bit complicated for me. So I like to make them on Cinema 4D, on Photoshop, sorry. So I'm just going to get the white paint here, zoom in a bit more, and then drag the brush size to a very small size like this, and then just really paint the eyes on, like so. Actually, that was terrible. Let's do this. That I usually like sort of 3 dots, like so. Might even make them a bit bigger on that one. That's a bit better, yeah. That looks quite nice. Okay. So we got that, the eyes, and then the mouth. Just create another layer. We'll do this, and what I do with the layer is I select like an ellipse tool, and I paint it on again, just because I don't like to use the Cinema 4D one. We'll make him fairly smiley like that, and you can just rub out the bits you don't want. So yes, we'll rasterize this. Select the fairly big brush, so like this one, and then just rub out really any of the bits you don't want. That's a bit too much, like so. And then you can hit Control T to just warp it and like place it however you want it. If we can actually get the thing. It's not wanting to. Oh, okay, here we go. There we go. And then just click OK, and there we go. It actually doesn't look that bad. For the, we might actually add like a sort of little bit of light here, so we'll just add another bit of light there just to make it look like he's also in like the sky or whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to hit the paint layer again, and click the whites, and just do the same thing as we did below, so just paint the top layer just to make it a little bit more like he's in the sky. Maybe even here or something. As you can see, it's very random, the splodges that I put on, but you know, it just helps, just give some effects, whatever. Might actually, might even start spreading it. So if we do this, that's better. That's much better. Okay. Hit blending options. If we do overlay, well, yeah, that's much better. Soft light, and you can't really see the thing. Color dodge. Does color dodge work? That's a bit better. Okay. But yeah, apart from that, guys, that's really the end of this tutorial. Hopefully you found this useful, and it's given you a little bit of an idea of how I work and how I make my graphics for you guys, since a lot of you wanted to know anyway. If you guys have any other questions concerning, you know, how I do this, how I do that, or if you want to see another video like this, then definitely leave a comment down below, or even tweet me out, and I'll be happy to answer your questions concerning that. But apart from that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all again next time. Ciao.